Warwick was such a huge influence on my life because I left school at 15, did an apprenticeship at 16, and then immediately after my apprenticeship, as I was becoming a draftsman, I did an essentially night school and did eventually a diploma in management, and that was the springboard for me to find a new role in Austin Rover. And it was through Rover's association with Warwick and Lord Bhattacharyya that I was lucky enough to be invited to come onto a master's course at Warwick. So I was already rising through the ranks of Rover. I was already had a very clear vision of what I wanted to do, and I would say that my Warwick education, which was, an academic education that I hadn't really received in the past, but very relevant to where my career was going. It was fundamental in terms of understanding my industry and what it gave me tools that I was able to use as I went forward. Lord Bhattacharyya was a phenomenal man, a real character. He was my professor. I have to say, even then I was a little scared of him, just his reputation. An amazing teaching style, actually, very, very relaxed, and he would sit down like this when he was lecturing, as I remember. Not that long after I finished my master's degree here, I went to Nissan, and Nissan took me to Japan. As soon as I came back to the UK and started work as the CEO of Aston Martin, he immediately got in contact with me and said, "You're one of my students, I need you to come and see me." And I was so honoured that somehow or other I'd registered on this phenomenal guy's radar. I know we live in a time when there are politicians and people that have some doubts around climate change, but climate change is real. And regrettably, probably humanity is very slow to react in general, but it will react because at some moment or other, the climate change will become serious enough that we have to act. And the nice thing about automotive is that we technically know how to make a net zero motor car. If transport represents 25% of the problem, the great news is we know how to do it, we just need to enact it. And I hope to make a little contribution towards that enactment. We're probably living in a time where diversity gets a bad rap. If you live and work in a company, let's take a car company, where the planners and the engineers all come from a certain background. You create things in your own image. What I've experienced of diversity, it's nothing about being woke-like. It's everything about being super competitive, about making better products that expands your accessible market in so many different ways, not by a multiple of a small, 10 or 20%, but by hundreds of percent. In almost every large company around the world, you can, generally speaking, find a Warwick graduate. And so you've got this wonderful community that you can tap into. Human connections are such an important part of doing business. It's all about trust, it's all about empathy. And when you find somebody that's studied in the same place that you have, thinks, because we were educated the same way, thinks the same way, it's amazing how good that is to accelerate business.